What's up, my allies? My name is Zacharias, and this is Thank You Universe. And thank you so much for tuning in today. And today I thought we could talk about some things to think about if you are alone on this Valentine's Day. And a lot of people can kind of get sad around this time of year if they're alone on Valentine's Day. But I just wanted to give you some things to think about, like maybe being single right now actually isn't something to be sad about, and it's something that can be actually quite amazing and fulfilling. So, let's get into it. Now, a lot of times people kind of dread this time of year and they get sad to be alone on Valentine's Day. But you have to ask yourself this question: why is it sad? One of the biggest lies that our culture can teach us when we grow up is that being alone is a sad thing, and that a relationship is a milestone in life. It is something that is required for everyone and something that everyone needs to have in their life to feel happy and fulfilled. But that is not the case. People tell you to find someone who you can be happy with, who will make you happy. But true happiness doesn't come from outside you, it comes from within. And as we grow to understand this, it makes a lot more sense, because outside validation is not something that you can rely on. It's not always going to be there. Even if you have a relationship partner, they're their own person and they have their own things going on, and they might not always be able to be there for you in each and every moment. But when you have your own internal source of happiness, you don't have to go draw from the well anymore. Meaning that getting outside validation is like going to a well to get your water. But if you have internal happiness, it's like having your own well inside of you that you can draw from at any time, and you don't need anyone else to be there for you to be happy. And this is a lesson that might be hard for some people to learn, because society is so bent on promoting relationships. All the movies, all the media you watch, there's usually, most always, a romantic storyline that is central to the plot, and everyone is taught these fantasies in movies growing up that they watch that, the biggest goal in life, the thing that can make you most happy, is finding a relationship partner. Like, that is it. That is the ecstasy of life. That is the goal of life, is to find someone that you can be with and they will complete you. But you don't need someone to complete you. You are complete on your own. This idea that being alone is sad is kind of like this default of culture. Like, if you see someone out in public alone, maybe they're at a restaurant alone, they're eating by themselves, or they're at a movie by themselves, people look at that and they go, oh, that's so sad, they're alone. But why is it sad? They think that as a default, that being alone is sad. But being alone isn't sad. It can actually be quite fulfilling. And a lot of people who want to get into relationships and don't feel good by themselves are feeling lonely. And many of us just want connection. We want to feel seen, and we want to feel heard and understood by someone who cares about us and someone who loves us. And there's nothing wrong with that. We are all human. We crave connection. But there's also nothing wrong with being alone. And I feel like in today's age with social media, everyone is addicted to likes and being seen, and they want to feel like if they do something, that other people see it and that they approve of it, and they think you're awesome for the things that you do. So we post things on social media and we get those likes, and then we're like, got that hit of dopamine from the external validation. But you really don't need that, and that happiness is always going to need to be refilled by more external validation. Whereas if you learn to enjoy things for yourself in the moment, then you're really going to feel fulfilled and satisfied with that, because you're doing it for yourself. So my advice is to get into the moment, get into the experience. A lot of times if you're doing something, these thoughts can come into our head like, oh, I wish this person were here to enjoy this thing with me. But you're there, and you're the one experiencing it, so it only makes sense for you to enjoy it. Otherwise, you're having this experience, but you're kind of not in the moment. You're pushing it to the side because you're thinking of outside thoughts like wanting other people to be there to witness it, but you can still have a good time by yourself. So really try to remember to get into the moment and do things for you. This is your life journey and it's your experience, and even if no one else is there to witness you, that doesn't mean that it isn't valid and it isn't fulfilling. Because when you are alone and you're in those moments and you have the opportunity to experience something like some delicious food or some art or some music you're listening to or a movie that you're watching, whatever it is, and you're thinking that you wish someone was there to be with you, you're focusing on what you don't have. And focusing on what you don't have is the formula to be unhappy. It is a lack mindset. Instead of focusing on all the things that you do have, you're focusing on what is not there. Instead of focusing on the beautiful experience in front of you, you're thinking about the person that you don't have, that you wish was there. But we need to remember to be grateful for the things that we do have and focus on those things. So if you don't have a relationship, at least you have an amazing personality. And if you don't have that, well, then you're just out of luck. But really what it comes down to is loving yourself and doing things for yourself because you love yourself. And I have made videos on that. I'll go ahead and link that right now. And loving yourself can be a struggle for a lot of people who grow up with this feeling of emptiness, this feeling that goes unfulfilled. But as we learn to focus on ourselves and realize that we don't need that person outside of us to be happy, we grow to understand ourselves and experience life for us, and we learn the things that we like, and we learn those things that we find fulfilling, and the things that make us happy, regardless of whether or not we're in a relationship. So don't listen to the drone of society that tells you you must be in a relationship to be happy, and if you're single, it's probably because you're bad and you should feel bad about who you are. Don't listen to that. Don't listen to the Disney bullshit, okay? You don't need to be with someone. You can learn to love yourself and experience happiness on your own. And that way, when you feel fulfilled by yourself and you're happy living life by yourself, you won't get into relationships just because you're lonely and just because you want someone to be with you. You're happy on your own, so you won't feel this neediness or desperation to get external validation and be in a relationship. You can be more selective, and you can choose someone who will enhance your life because you already enjoy your life, and this person is so awesome that being with them would actually enhance your experience. And I think that's a lot more special than choosing to be with someone because, hey, kind of lonely and no one else was around, so you want to be a thing? And this is something that happens to a lot of people. I can't say that it hasn't happened to me, you know? You feel lonely and you just want someone to be there with you, and then you get into this relationship, but think about this. A lot of people are in really bad relationships or relationships with someone who doesn't love them, or toxic or abusive relationships because they'd rather have that than be alone. Because society has a safe pathway that goes, go to school, get a job, relationship, married, kids, rinse, repeat. And it's a little scary paving your own path, and when you're alone, you kind of go your own way. But creating your own path is actually more fulfilling because as you choose to explore yourself instead of just jumping into a relationship because you're alone, you get more and more into your authenticity and you live life for you the way that you truly desire, the way that makes you truly happy because you're doing what you love based on the different experiences you have rather than listening to what society tells you will make you happy. And of course, relationships can be happy, enriching, fulfilling experiences, but that's not the only way to go at it. Because as you get to know yourself and explore yourself and do things that you love for yourself, you're getting into your authentic vibration. You're vibrating at a higher level. And when that happens, at some point, when the time is right, as it unfolds, there's going to be someone who vibrates at that same level, who is a match to you, and they will see your self-love that is emanating from within, and they will recognize it, and they will see it, and they will see you for who you are, and they will love you for who you are, because you're a vibrational match. And being single is freedom. It is awesome. It is a lot of joy because you get to do whatever you want. You're steering the ship, you're the one in charge, and you don't need anyone's permission to have a good time on Valentine's Day or whatever day it is. You are free to do what you love. And a lot of people can't enjoy the freedom to do what they love because they have an inner emotional wounding, this feeling of lack, this feeling like they aren't good enough, so they aren't good enough for a relationship. And so they're trying to heal that wound by getting with someone else because they feel like once they're with someone else, then they'll be valid and worthy of love. But the truth is that lonely people don't stop feeling lonely when they get into a relationship. If you feel like you aren't good enough and you aren't worthy of love, then in a relationship you will question the love you receive and you will constantly have to upkeep because you're nervous and you're like, oh, obviously I'm not good enough. Why do they love me? I need to keep being more. I need to be good enough for them so that they will stay with me, instead of feeling secure, loving yourself, and knowing that you are worthy of love. You feel like you constantly need to prove yourself. And that's not a good spot to be. As the Tao Te Ching says, if you care about what others think, you will always be their prisoner. And that's not freedom. So people spend their times trying to be good enough to be in a relationship for other people. But all that effort that you're putting in to try and be good enough for someone else, to attract a partner, and to have a relationship, you can shift the direction of that and give it to yourself. So all of that effort that you're putting out, you're trying to woo someone, you're trying to be good enough for them, give that love, give that attention to yourself, and realize that you are deserving of love regardless of if you're in a relationship and regardless of what others think of you. And when you have this lack mindset, it will be reflected back to you. So if you think, I'm not good enough and no one will like me, what you believe about reality is what will manifest in your life. You experience the things that are related to your core beliefs in this life. So if you feel like people don't like you, one, it will lead you to act in ways that will make people question you. People can sense energetically if you don't feel good about yourself. And when they sense that at some level, they will question, okay, they don't feel good about themselves, so what's up with that? Why should I feel good about them? That's an energetic exchange that can happen. Also, if we pay attention to those feelings of lack and self-doubt and feeling like we're not good enough, that is what will be reflected back to us. So maybe you won't just be alone completely, but maybe you'll get into a relationship with someone who also doesn't think you're good enough, or who doesn't love you for who you are, but rather they love you for the things that they can get from you, for the things that you do for them. So we have to learn to embrace our own journey and to love ourselves and have the abundance mindset, not the lack mindset that says there's no one on this planet that could possibly love me, I'm going to be alone forever. Think abundance. Think, I have all my desires fulfilled, I can love myself and feel good, and of course other people will see good in me and love me because I know that I am someone who is worthy of love. And then that is what will be reflected back to you in your experience as you change this core belief about yourself. So even though society tells you that relationships are the end-all, be-all key to happiness and fulfillment in life, sometimes they aren't the best things for you, and sometimes you need to work on yourself and grow and get to know yourself better and embrace being single and embrace your experience. So don't internalize the judgment of society that just views someone as alone as sad. Recognize that it is a very joyful experience of growth, and you live life for you and you can have beautiful experiences alone. You are no less valid than anyone else because you are single. You are no less important. You are no less worthy of love. You are worthy of love, and you don't need anyone's permission to have happiness on this Valentine's Day. And if there's something that you want to do, if you want to go out to eat, watch a romantic movie, go on a hike, treat yourself. Do it for yourself. Do the things that you love for yourself because you deserve it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, go ahead and give us a like, and please subscribe to our channel. Feel free to donate to my Patreon if you like the channel. And as always, much love to all my allies out there, and I'll be seeing all of you on the next video. Bye.